We are so excited to welcome everyone here this evening to celebrate the marriage of Amy and Connor. While it's certainly not the celebration we've been anticipating for the last number of months, well, there are some of us who've been waiting years. We're grateful for today, for the few of us who are able to gather here, and for all of you joining online. We wanted to name a few of the places that people are coming from. You're from New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Kansas, Illinois, Ohio, Indiana, Colorado, Minnesota, California, Canada, and Mexico, and there's a lot of people calling in from around the valley here in Arizona. It'll probably go viral too. But it looks a little different. And weddings are an important celebration for a community, so we're also glad that all of us can be a part of it in one way or another. So thanks to each of you for being here with us, for tuning in, and for making this ceremony unique and special, just as the way that you've been a part of Connor and Amy's life. I'll say a prayer. Creator God, we welcome you here to this place, to all the homes and cities from where we're joining from this celebration, and here in this backyard. We thank you for the gift of love shown through Jesus Christ, your Son, and we pray that it might be a foundation for this marriage. Amen. Y'all may be seated. And you too.
So we've prepared a couple of statements for the two of you, and I believe Kim is going to start.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Surprise. So, this is a letter to Connor. Where do I begin? Oh, closer, obviously. You were only 15 years old when you and Amy had your first date. And I remember you saying it was your most fun first date. James had taken the two of you kayaking. That was January 2012. Hard to believe it started when you were both so young. We are thankful that you saw the potential Amy had, as you stated in one of your notes to Amy years ago. Over these past 8 years, we have learned what dedication you have to the things you love. You have a real determination to learn things thoroughly. Because of this, we feel certain that you will be dedicated and determined to be the best partner you can be to walk with Amy through life. We are thankful for your faith in God and your continued development in Him. Connor, we are happy to officially welcome you into our family today.
All right, Connor. So they met in chemistry class. No. Okay, they didn't meet in chemistry. Okay, so they were
Thinking science class.
thinking science.
Yeah, I think that's special.
Yeah, keep thinking. But in a chemistry class that they took, they at least the stories that I would hear when Amy would come home from school, they were always striving to get really good grades. And it turned out that you guys developed a drive and a friendly competition among the two of you, where you began to encourage each other to do your best. In fact, the grades, if I remember correctly, were like 0.2% or 0.02% difference. And then the teacher took you guys aside and said, "Why are you being so competitive?" Well, it's because you guys were learning more than chemistry. You were learning to encourage one another. And when you do that, it teaches you to care for one another. Anytime you take the time to think of someone else, you're putting them before yourself. So then back to this first date, kayaking, Lake Pleasant. So here we have a 15-year-old coming to take my 15-year-old daughter, and what am I to do? I'm the dad. So Andrew and I are loading the boats, and I said, "Andrew, we don't know Connor that well, but we're going to figure this out, and we're going to keep our eye on him. And if things don't go so well, then, Lake Pleasant is a perfect spot. If it doesn't work out, we can always lose him. It's a big lake, very big." But it turned out we didn't have a problem. We saw the care in the two of you, for each other. I think months later, you even helped me strip my yard so I could plant a winter lawn. Anyone who helps me mow a lawn is, yeah. So here in marriage, I want to say that there's two challenges. the one that I want to just touch on is listening to each other. It's not always easy, but it is tangible because, Amy's right here. You're right there. It's tangible. You can practice to listen to each other. The second challenge is maybe a little more difficult because it includes God, and teaching yourself and learning to listen to God, so that you can figure out what He has for both of you, in your lives. And in that, when you are listening for God, lean on each other, help each other to hear and listen, so that you can both, continue to share the gifts that God has given each of you. And so when you listen to each other, when you listen for each other, keep God centered. So the two of you, I just want you to know, the two of you are incredibly loved. We love you. Everyone on the other side of that camera loves you. Thank you for letting us join the Mackenzie family, and thank you for joining the Shunn family.
Well, Rory and I really want to thank you and Kim and James for raising Amy in a Christian home where you provided safety and emotional health. We know you raised her to love other people and to love God, and that's the foundation of everything, and we're so grateful for that. Rory and I have been praying for Connor's mate since he was a baby, and Amy, you're the answer to that prayer, and I couldn't have asked for a better person. I have a good memory of the time, I think the first time you came over, and it was really, I think, just Connor and I were there, and you were going to teach us a card game called, is it Blintz? Dutch Blitz. Okay, Dutch Blitz. And you were so excited, and you were going to, I know in your back of your mind, you're like, and I'm going to beat them too. And so as she was explaining it, I realized that this is a game that Connor and Mason and I have been playing since they were little boys. And so we call it nerds. And so, of course, we played, and Connor beat us both. But I just remember at that time thinking, you are so fun, and you just were so easy to be around. And it wasn't long after that Connor came to me, and he goes, Mom, didn't I choose a really nice, beautiful person? Don't you like her? I'm like, yeah, I really do like her. She really is a nice girl. And you were a teenage girl then. You were young, 8 or 9 years ago. And now you have turned into this beautiful, wonderful woman inside and out. And I see your heart for God. And I love that. I love that. You are kind. I see in how you treat your family, how you treat Connor, how you treat others around you. You are patient. And you're not, and you're not quick to judge others. You give people the benefit of the doubt. And you're super intelligent. You love animals. You love a lot of the things that I care about. And I'm going to be really honest that you are balancing the boy ratio in our family. And that is really, really important. And I just love that we get to do girl things together. If I couldn't have dreamt of a better daughter-in-law or wife for my son. And we love you, and we are so excited to be officially part of the family now.
All right, Amy, I am thankful for you and what you have brought to our family. We have prayed, like Lynn had mentioned, for a godly woman, for Connor, and God has delivered you to us and to all of us here. And your godliness, your maturity, your faithfulness, and your determination is a gift we all are blessed by. Your patience is amazing, especially with Connor. Thank you for that. The only true words that I can offer at this moment is that you both choose God first, that you walk with Him daily, love each other, and seek ways to meet each other's needs. God will honor that and bless you guys. I love you, and I will pray for you and Connor as often as I remember. We love you guys. We split now, right?
Yes.
So I usually say during our meetings in the weeks and months leading up to a wedding that planning a wedding is a pretty tough way to start a marriage. Well, little did I know that we could never have imagined the situation we find ourselves in today. Many of our communities are in a state of tension. Our neighborhoods, our churches, our families have become distant, divided by a lot of things, and now even an unimaginable public health crisis. But here we are, and you've given us a reason to celebrate, to remember what binds us all together. I'm also proud of you for making the hard decision to change things a little bit. And I'm also not surprised, because in your nearly decade-long relationship, you've already weathered a lot of changing circumstances together. You've supported your families, and most of all, you've cared for all the people around you. And I really respect that. Amy, your thoughtfulness, care, and attention to detail have brought a lot of these pieces together, twice now. And Connor, your calming presence and can-do attitude has always brought a healthy balance in every step. You know by now that no matter how well planned life can be, it's still going to throw a few curveballs your way. So I hope you can take these last 2 months and remember that you are well equipped to face those challenges in your relationship. And I hope you remember that the web of support that's around you, we're all cheering you on, and we're ready to help you out whenever you need it. At least part of the success, in my observation at least, can be attributed to the love and compassion in which you engage those around you. Goofy as it may be at times, Connor, you both are counted by many as close friends, confidants, and encouragers. Connor, you never fail to bring joy to a room, and I've been especially grateful for that this weekend. And Amy, not only do you think of everything, but you consider everyone. And that's a gift. And you care for those, that care is exemplified in your determination through vet school and all the relationships you've made along the way in the last couple of years. So it was fitting for me that the scripture that you chose, and you chose originally, even before this day, is from Colossians 3:12-14, which reads, "Therefore, as God's choice, holy and loved, put on compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Be tolerant with one another. And if someone has a complaint against anyone, forgive each other. As the Lord forgave you, also forgive one another. And over all these things put on love, which is the perfect bond of unity." It's interesting, too, how both your parents' letters reflected that, and I don't think they knew the scripture, and yeah. It tells a lot about your relationship and the things that you value and the things that you've learned from your parents. And I think in many ways it affirms how you relate to one another, with the love binding all of those things together. You'll do well to remember that throughout your relationship, you'll continue to grow and change individually. New challenges might arise for each of you, and maybe in the world around you, and the love will be challenged. There was a wise man who used to tell a lot of us that hard things are hard, and sometimes they just are. So as you experience the mountaintops and the valleys of your relationship, remember the things around you. Work to put on the compassion, kindness, humility, and gentleness, even in those moments when you feel justifiably frustrated. Care for one another, seek to understand, express your frustrations, but put more energy in working towards forgiveness. You have an incredible community around you, a supportive family, and I have come to know each of you as incredibly capable and committed. Keep up the good work. All of us are here rooting for you. And then this evening, as we move through the various parts of the ceremony that you have crafted to celebrate your relationship with one another, my hope is that you can hold each symbol and each moment as a celebration of who each of you are, a model for the covenant that you are about to make, and an encouragement for who you will become in your marriage. So that's enough for me. Most of us have been waiting for a long time for this. So now that we've set the stage and prepared for the foundation for this covenant, it's time for you to make your vows to one another. So Connor, you're first, and you can read the vows that you've prepared for Amy.
Alrighty. Amy, today I give myself to you. My mind is clear, and my commitment is strong, and without reservation. I promise to be your life partner, to be faithful to you alone, to share all that is to come, a permanent commitment made in love, kept in faith, lived in hope, and continually made new. It all started when I met you in Honors Thinking Science 10 years ago. I still remember all the laughs we shared that year like it was yesterday. Like when I tried to swing between those two tables and ended up on my butt. I remember sitting in Miss Knight's English class, desperately waiting for the bell to ring so I could talk to you in between second and third period. I remember finally getting up the nerves to ask you out. Who knew then that I was asking out the love of my life, the girl that I was going to marry? That day started the best days of my life, the days that I got to call you my girlfriend, until June 1st, 2019, where I got to call you my fiance. And now today, where I got the honor of calling you my wife. Amy, I love you to the moon and back, and that'll never change. Throughout our relationship, there is no denying that we have been and continue to be competitive. From the day that we started dating, there was always a bit of, I got the higher test score, or look who got the better GPA. But through all of that, you've been amazingly loving and supportive all the same. Whenever I was feeling down, or like the task at hand was impossible, you're always there to be my rock, always there to tell me that everything was going to be okay, and always there to help me however you could. And now that we've been dating / engaged for 9 years, I see that this is a reoccurring theme. When I say I have no idea where I'd be if you would not have said sure on that day, sophomore year of high school, I say it with absolute sincerity. Now, how could I write these vows and not mention Gus? Man, how Gus has impacted us in ways I could have never foreseen. Ever since the day I brought him home, he has undoubtedly been like a child to us. Now, he may be a bit special, and he can be a total pain sometimes, but I can say with certainty that he is a perfect dog. I never knew I could love a dog as much as I love him, and I look forward to every moment I get to spend with you too. As we move forward, there are some promises I would like to make. I promise that you and Gus will always be a priority. I promise that I will always be there for you. I promise that I won't completely bankrupt us buying parts for Delilah. I promise that I'll do whatever I can to support you and your dreams. And most of all, I promise to always love you and Gus the best I can. I'm truly the luckiest guy on earth to be able to call you my family.
Whew. Today, as I give myself to you, my mind is clear and my commitment is strong and without reservation. I promise to be your life partner, to be faithful to you alone, to share all that is to come. A permanent commitment made in love, kept in faith, lived in hope, and continually made new. I have loved you for over 8 years. I still care about you and love you more than I ever thought I was capable of. And somehow you feel the same. You have held me through countless anxiety attacks, moments of self-doubt, fear. Sorry. Okay. Fear, anger, and uncertainty, especially with everything that is going on in the world. And your love and support is unwavering. You've seen my mess and you've embraced it. You've been there to cheer me on and celebrate the moments of brightness.
You also gave me our dog, Gus. I mean, come on. You spoke to my dog-loving soul. And seeing how much he loves you and how much you love him has brought me so much joy. All right. Now here are a few promises. I promise to play with your hair when we watch TV. I promise to never intentionally move your seat or rearview mirror in your car. I promise to share my food even when I'm really, really hangry. And most of all, I promise to love you even when I don't like you. So, long story short, I am so thankful that God created a human that is so unapologetically himself. Thoughtful, genuine, brilliant, and the best at coming up with those one-liners that make everyone laugh. I am so ready to see where God leads us in our newest adventure. I love you, Connor.
So, Connor, do you give yourself to Amy to be her husband? To love her and honor her and be faithful to her as long as you both shall live? If so, you may answer, I do.
I do.
And Amy, do you give yourself to Connor to be his wife, to love him, to honor him, and to be faithful to him as long as you both shall live? And if so, you may answer, I do.
Sure, I do.
And now, as a symbol of unity and a reminder of the vows that you've made to one another, you've chosen the act of foot washing. So we're going to take a moment to get the music and the basin ready.
Some want the jewels and some want the fame. Some want the money, but how can I explain? Our love's worth more than all of these things. From big private jets to shiny diamond rings. And oh, you should know that I love you so. That I could go to Paris or London or Rome, but only in you would I find my home. I'll thank the earth and the stars up above, 'cause to the moon and back reaches my love. The sun rises high and the sun sets so low over the ocean where my love vastly flows. My love is so wide and it stretches so far, it reaches wherever you are. I'd give up my wealth and I'd give up my pride to travel the world with you by my side. You are my jewel and you're my claim to fame, and in you a best friend I have gained. And oh, you should know that I love you so, that I could go to Paris or London or Rome, but only in you would I find my home. I'll thank the earth and the stars up above, 'cause to the moon and back reaches my love. The sun rises high and the sun sets so low over the ocean where my love vastly flows. My love is so wide and it stretches so far, it reaches wherever you are. It reaches wherever you are. It reaches wherever you are.
And now, as a symbol and remembrance of the vows which you've just made to one another, before us, you have chosen today to share in the exchange of rings. They serve as a symbol of an unbroken circle of love. Love freely given has no beginning and has no end. No giver and no receiver, for each is the giver and each is the receiver. May these rings always remind you of the vows that you've just taken. So Connor, you're first. Connor, you may put the ring on Amy's finger and repeat after me. It's going to be one line at a time, all right?
Alrighty.
Amy, I give you this ring
Amy, I give you this ring
as a symbol of my vow of love.
as a symbol of my vow of love.
With all that I am, I honor you.
With all that I am, I honor you.
And Amy, you can put the ring on Connor's finger and repeat after me. Connor, I give you this ring
Connor, I give you this ring
as a symbol of my vow of love.
as a symbol of my vow of love.
With all that I am, I honor you.
With all that I am, I honor you.
So now, Connor and Amy, as you enter into this covenant of marriage, I invite you to look around and look at the YouTube feed and wave a little bit. And remember this community of support. We will keep you in prayer. We'll be here when things are hard, and we'll celebrate with you in times of joy. And it's with that very joy that we serve as witnesses to these vows that you've just made to one another. So therefore, it's my great honor to pronounce you as husband and wife. You may seal your vows with a kiss. You may face the congregation. And now it's my pleasure to introduce to you, for the first time as husband and wife, Connor McKenzie and Amy Shunn. Just wait for a second. So I've been asked to remind all of those on the YouTube stream, please take a selfie and post it on the Facebook page or send it to amyshunn@gmail.com for the guest book. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you all for being here. And I guess we can all go dance.
No, it's still going.
It's right there. Look at the camera and smile.
You were going? She's yours. What?
Are you still here? It's over. Go home.